BT today. 24-month contract scored by only new customers CPI plus 2.9% increase each March 31.99 per month, 25 times apply. Overnight with Paul Ross.
From the Sky News Centre at 4. There are 5 politicians left in the Tory leadership race. Rishi Sunak's in the lead and Penny Mordaunt's gaining ground. Liz Truss is in third, but her campaign's had a boost with the backing of Suella Braverman.
She's pledged to take a robust position on illegal migration, which is a real priority for me, and she's a tax cutter. And I think we really need to restore our reputation as a tax-cutting party.
Former Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch and Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Tom Tugendhat both say they'll stay in the contest. There are calls for the government to formally apologise to unmarried women who were forced to have their babies adopted between the 1950s and 70s. The Joint Committee on Human Rights estimates almost 200,000 children were taken away during that time. Former Health Minister Anne Keane had to give up her son in 1966. She found him 27 years later.
I shouted, "You found my baby, you found the baby," and I turned to my husband and said the same words. They found the baby is coming. And it was a 27-year-old man who is my baby, and a lovely young man he is.
Thousands of rail workers will strike on 2 extra dates in August over pay and conditions. They'd already announced walkouts on the 27th and 30th of July. It could get 10 degrees hotter over the next few days, with a rare amber weather warning over the weekend. Temperatures could reach more than 35 degrees Celsius. We're being urged to spend 15 minutes a day watching and counting butterflies. The National Count should help scientists work out which species are at risk of extinction. And in sport, there's an unfamiliar name towards the top of the leaderboard heading into day 2 of the Golf 150th Open Championship. Englishman Robert Dinwiddie, who warmed up for the major by labouring for a construction firm in London, is tied for third on 5 under par. That's the latest. I'm Tamsin Kent.
All subject.
I'm Tom Clayton. England boss Serena Wiegman's told TalkSport the keeping rhythm is key in their Euros title chase. Wiegman's hinted at not making too many changes tomorrow night for their match with Northern Ireland. The England boss has told TalkSport there are lots of players to keep happy.
Everyone wants to play. Everyone who's in the squad wants to play. You can only let start at least 11 players. So that's hard. That's also part of top sport, I think. So, yes, sometimes players are disappointed, but that's also the players and human beings they are.
England v Northern Ireland is live on TalkSport from 7. England had beaten India by 100 runs in the cricket in their second one-day international at Lords. Reece Topley's 6-wicket effort helped England to victory and himself the player of the match. The series is now tied at 1-1 with the final match on Sunday. Rory McIlroy says he's not trying to think about his recent record at majors as he's too shy of the clubhouse leader at the Open.
I've been playing well and I've been swinging the club well, and I think it's better if I don't think about it that much and I just go out and play golf and try to shoot some good scores on one of my favourite golf courses in the world.
Rory's on 6 under par as America's Cameron Young is the clubhouse leader on 8 under. But it's not gone the way of Tiger Woods, who finished the day on 6 over par. And France are through to the knockout stages at the Euros after a 2-1 win over Belgium. A 1-1 draw between Italy and Iceland earlier means France will top Group D.
On AM, on DAB, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Overnight with Paul Ross on TalkSport.
Here we go, my friends, the last hour of our show of the week with me, Paul Ross. Tomorrow morning, 4 to 1, and Sunday morning is the mighty Martin Kellner, the MK Don himself, will be for 4 hours as well over the weekend. Meanwhile, on the show this morning already, we've talked about the Tour de France. It's on that page of a number of papers this morning. Inside, a feature in the Mail on Tom Pidcock, who seals his first ever Tour win at the age of 22, the youngest rider to claim victory on the notorious Alpe d'Huez as he won a stage of the Tour de France for the first time. So he won once before by Britain, that was in 2018. Meanwhile, also on that page of the Times, Rory and the Rebels. McIlroy starts open with some superb 66. Westwood swipe at Ailing Tiger. Tiger was, I think, finished their 6 over par. Meanwhile, also a rugby story in the back of the Times. Eddie Jones has picked Freddie Stewart for the deciding third test between England and Australia, despite the fullback having already exceeded the agreed number of competitive minutes set for players this season. So taking a bit of a risky chance there with the future health. I'm sure Freddie Stewart has agreed to that, but sometimes maybe you might think players need to be protected from their own competitive instincts. Back to the Guardian newspaper this morning. Again, they focus on Tom Pitcock. Pitcock makes short history by speeding his race to victory and horror. McIlroy finds open groove on a painful day for Woods, and inside they're talking about the cricket that's coming up. One of the international, of course, that was T20 rather happening later on today. All that and a load of football speculation about transfer moves, and maybe the clock has finally almost ticked out for Ronaldo. Time is running out, say a number of the papers this morning, because of course apparently both Chelsea and now Man City have ruled themselves out of pursuing that remarkable player, 37 years old. Although we did hear speculation earlier on, in fact I heard it yesterday on this station, and we talked about it earlier in the programme, that he's been offered something in the region of £250,000 sterling to sign for a Saudi Arabian club for 2 years. I mean, the temptation to do that must be immense, except that money, I suspect, doesn't mean a huge amount to him compared to you and me, Alex. I mean, he must be now thinking about some kind of that dreaded word legacy. Also, he wants to go out as a winner, doesn't he? And while you're winning Saudi Arabia, it'd be a bit like winning, you know, I hesitate to make a comparison, but you know, you're winning kind of this competition in homes of people who are short-sighted. It's something a huge challenge, isn't that, I would have thought? So, interesting to see what happens there.
There's only one thing that Cristiano's going to want to win, and that's the Champions League.
That's it. Yeah.
And, well, they probably do have some kind of like an Asian Champions League, but it's nowhere near the same quality as the European Champions League, and that's where Cristiano wants to be.
If you want to was aiming for all the speculation was Chelsea and Man City, because those are programmed. Well, Man City, because I think they're making it this season, Man City, but they're going to get always get hungry for it. That's why Guardiola effectively was quite shit at it, wasn't it?
I think the only reason why those boys was to win the Champions League, and it's shocking that he hasn't won them already. I know they've gone close, and you know, they lost to Chelsea a couple of years ago, but it's never really threatened.
That's a curious but accurate thought. Because what you're saying effectively is that there must be people within the family or the business that owns Man City who, despite all the domestic trophies and that kind of glory, must regard to an extent the jury still being out on Guardiola's Man City career. If you're bullshit to do a job and you don't do it, then it might be, you've got the right man. Well, if that's all you're after. Maybe not. I'm sure that isn't all you're after. I mean, the brand value, the optics of Man City have improved immeasurably since Guardiola should go, because he is just a serial winner.
He is, but in regards to getting a Champions League, which is the one trophy that is still eluding Man City, you know, if he doesn't pick that, then everything else that he's won for them, is it deemed a failure for not just for Pep, but for Man City? Is it deemed a failure if he has his career at Man City and doesn't get a Champions League? I think it is, regardless of all the other trophies. If he doesn't win the Champions League, I'd say his tenure, well, obviously his tenure isn't going to be perfect, but he's been brought in to win the Champions League. He hasn't done it. You'd think that he'll stay until he does, but if he doesn't, then his tenure at City is a failure.
Wow. You want to join that conversation? 3717 222 Meanwhile, we had somebody earlier on saying any chance of a show about Man United going to business. Well, we heard on the back of the mail this morning, United agreed a £63 million fee. Barcelona's De Jong. Now, there's been in and out checking all about kind of speculation about this. Barcelona apparently weren't keen to sell him, but they need to sell somebody. They need to sell players to raise money. They're in a dreadful state financially. Frankie De Jong apparently wasn't keen to leave Barcelona, but if the club need him to leave, then he's going to go. Anyway, the headline is brought out in the story. Barcelona, writes the Mail Simon Jones, have sold Frankie De Jong. They need him to leave the club after agreeing a £63 million fee with Man United. The deal could rise by a further £8.5 million in add-ons. It is crucial to Barcelona's finances, but De Jong is going to stand with the club over and here's the rub, the £17 million owing.